You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk. Greetings, my visionary dreamers. And how are you awesome people doing today on Monday? What did I call it? Get it started Mondays. Yeah, I came up with those little titles and I never say them. Nevertheless, I am here. Yes, I did say I was going to come on at 12:30. If you see, as far as the description and about pages on my podcast, on my blog. But those who have been following me, I'm really trying to get my balance in my schedule, my new work schedule, so that I can come up with a solid time, So this is ADionne. I did just come on talking, But this is ADionne. This is your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself. Get out your own way, y'all. Get out your own way. And I'm just here to motivate folk, encourage folk, and just help you to start living your dreams. Start really going after what it is that you were put on this earth, in this time-space reality, to do to your fullest capacity. You know what I mean? Join me now. Live. Y'all know what I'm doing. Y'all should know by now. I'm trying to get people to join me. But nevertheless, today's topic... First of all, this podcast was brought to you by Midlife. Midlife, if you want to get some discounts, some wholesale prices on your travels, on your cruises, your camping, your rentals, car rental, and all that good stuff, Midlife is the company. That's it. That's the place to be. I need y'all all to go look up my blog, chroniclesofliving.com without the G, and you'll see the tab that's called Lifestyle Savings, or either you could go on leisureLife.com/lifestyle savings, and you will save some lifestyle savings for you and your family to have a good time and to go do something different in your life. Go travel, go find a place you never, just open up a mat and just close your eyes and just draw, make your finger go around and around, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and wherever it lands, just do it. Go. If it's a lot of money, then you got to save up for it. But for the most, this is the company that's going to save you that money. And it's also brought to you by doTERRA essential oils. Again, if you know me, I'm all about the natural. So go on mydoterra.com/Nature's Healings with the S. Nature's Healings with the S. Essential oils is like, I'm trying to tell y'all, it has saved my life in so many different ways, from losing weight to growing my hair back, to getting my skin in order, to helping my digestive systems, just so many different things. And when you're doing natural, it's the best way to go. So just wanted to get that out the way. I want all of y'all to share in the things that I have taken advantage of to help me in my life, because y'all my peoples. So today's topic is decisions and choices create your future. Let me say it again. Decisions and choices create your future. Now, we all know this. We all know, okay, so I decided that I'm going to now start really looking at the definition of some of these words that, as far as the topics, because, we learn these words in school, but sometimes the definition could be just a little bit different or whatever. But I mean, this definition, decisions, is a conclusion or a resolution reached after consideration. So in other words, you made this decision after you considered that this decision was the best for your issue, your problem, your option. Your decision in your eyes at that time, or at this time that you're making it, you believe this is the conclusion. This is it. This is all you got. You know what I mean? This is the thing that's going to solve the problem. And then the choices is an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with two or more possibilities. So again, that's why I just kind of connected those two words, because even though they're kind of one and the same, it's like you got to make the choice to come up with the decision for your problem, to resolve your problem, your issue, to say, like, out of all of these choices, out of all of these opportunities, out of all these houses, these cars, this man and this woman that I'm dating, or whatever, men and women that I'm dating, this is the best for me right now. And a lot of us make decisions spontaneously. Sometimes we do. I know I do. I make a lot of spontaneous decisions, but y'all already know I had cray. So, but it works out for me. It works out because I never look at a decision as being a bad decision. I always look at it as, look, okay, I made this decision. I made this choice. This is where I'm at right now, but I don't have to stay here if I'm not comfortable. And that is why I decided to talk about this, because a lot of people make decisions and choices in their lives, even from when you're young. You making decisions. When you're a baby, you make a decision that, okay, if you bust your butt after you start trying to walk, you make a decision that you're going to get back up and you're going to try it again, because you're seeing little Roro and little Johnny walking around playing, and you younger than them, and so you want to play too. So that's your motivation. And you make a decision as a baby that you're going to get back up and start walking again, no matter how hard that fall was. So y'all know I like to use little different things to kind of make you look at it in a different light. And sometimes when we go backwards, you can kind of see forward better, and that's really what it's all about. You can make a decision, you can make a choice, and it might not be the right one, and you might fail at it, but it is your choice, it's your decision. What are you going to do at this point? Okay, it didn't work. So that's it? You just going to quit? That's not what's like. Life is not about quitting. You know what I mean? Quitters never win, as they say. So you gotta be careful and really mindful of why you're making a decision, why you're making a choice. Never let somebody or something pressure you into making a decision or a choice, because it will shape and create your future. I'm telling you, you think about it. If you decide, I remember when I was young, I always was the artsy one. I always was so creative, and I always was into sports, and it was crazy because on one hand I was a little tomboy. I wanted to be in all the sports, play basketball. I was on the basketball team, volleyball, track, and all of this. But then on the other hand, I was into fashion, so I'm modeling in passions. One minute I'm in a passion, one minute I'm running track or whatever. But even with that, I had a choice. Where I grew up at, a lot of people wasn't into that. A lot of people was just into the streets. I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the urban area. And a lot of people, they just pretty much wanted to be in the streets. far as, if they play sports, it was mostly, basketball, football, whatever, nothing, that's a great talent. That's a great, sport. And that was the thing that pretty much kept them out. But for the females, it wasn't but so much to do. So a lot of females in my neighborhood where I grew up, they wound up getting into their boyfriends and, being pregnant in school. And, some of my family members in my last year of high school, basically it seemed like I was the only one that wasn't pregnant. And I actually felt some type of way. But it was because of my decision, I believe, to stay involved in my gifts and my talents and to pour more into that than getting in the streets. I had a boyfriend back then, but I just was so into my gifts and my talents that's what I did. That was my main focus. And it's probably why he cheated on me, because I didn't give him that much time. But nevertheless, I knew that I had a choice. Did I want to stay in the hood? Did I want to stay in this position? Or did I want to do something with my life to better me? Something that can take me different places. And that was my mindset. I knew that if I danced, if I modeled, if I did sports or whatever, I would see different parts of the world. You never know where it could take you, And I was right. I was right. Even at a young age, I was right. I was sewing. So I developed that gift, and I developed, because I made that choice to, instead of being outside, to really hone my craft of sewing. And with that choice, I was making money straight out of high school, making clothes for people. While other people was partying, yes, I did party, but to be honest, when I went to the parties, half of the people in the parties was wearing my clothes that I made money off of. So that was my treat to myself to go to the parties and see my little fashion walking all around. But I put my time in. I made the decision to study, writing my music and to study dancing, practicing and all of that stuff. While other people, and it's nothing against y'all, know I don't be trying to throw no shade. I just try to always show y'all the other side of the fence. And when you making these decisions, you know what I'm saying? You make a decision that when you date young, and this is what I tell my son, and my daughter had to learn, when you date young, before you even get to live your life and get to know who you are, you wind up being lost at a certain age. By the time you in your mids, that's why they call it midlife crisis, because some people start off so young dating and giving so much energy and time to the other person, which is not always bad, but sometimes if you give so much to somebody else, you can lose who you are. And you actually, not even you can lose who you are. Sometimes you can forget about who you are. Sometimes you never figure out who you are until later on in life. And that can cause problems in a relationship. So this is what I'm saying about your decisions, and your choices will create your future. Because what you have right now and what you're doing right now from that decision, it might be playing out one way, but then later on, it might affect you in another way. Just like, you have a lot of young men and young women that grow up in the environment that I grew up, and they decide that, and they have talent, but they decided that, that's all they want. They just want to live in the same neighborhood. They just, they want to hang in the streets. And sometimes, that caused them to get caught up. Now their future is gone. You have a choice to do drugs or to try it. It's people that try drugs for the first time that's dead right now because their system couldn't handle it. You have a decision to go to college, go to school to further your education, or to not. And just because you don't go to college don't mean that you're less than. That means that if you choose not to go to college for whatever reason, because of finances, because that's just not for you, that is your decision. I never went to college, lived on campus. I did go to college online, and I did go get my certifications and stuff like that. I got plenty of certifications and license in different fields, but I never went. But guess what? I believe that I'm just as smart as the next person that went to college for the same industry that I'm in. And in some cases, I found out that I'm even smarter than them. Because you know why? Because I made the decision, I made the choice that, okay, if I can't do this at this point in my life, if my finances is not right, or in the case of my son, I was going for coding and web and all of this stuff and international business, but I had to stop because I had to think about him and his future. If he wanted to decide to, if he decided and wanted to make that choice and that decision to go to college, I wanted to make sure I was able to handle it financially, credit-wise, or whatever, however you want to say it, And so I made the decision and the choice to sacrifice getting my education through a college institute and that sort of thing to allow him the opportunity to get on, to have that platform. And it worked out because when I made that decision, then I want another route. I'm like, okay, I could still get in certain industries. I might just have to pay for the license and study for the test and do it in that way. Those were all decisions that I had to make. Those were all choices. And those choices helped me. And some of them, I have license that I might stop using. But it's all decisions and choices. This is what life is all about, y'all. You're never stuck. You're never stuck. You're never obligated. I remember when we were living in Georgia and we would come down to visit, my mom, I love her. Don't get it twisted. I love my mama. But my mom would obligate me. Before I even knew, like if it's a family affair, she would just obligate me. Oh yeah, ADionne's gonna, she's gonna pick you up. She's gonna pick you up. I'm driving already up 10 hours. All these hours, but yet I'm supposed to come in town and still pick folk up and drop them off. But I had a choice. I had to make the decision to talk to my mama and tell her, listen, woman, I'm not doing that. Because my mom at the time didn't drive. She didn't start driving until she was like, I think 62? Because I used to drive her everywhere. And that was her decision and her choice to not drive. Where all these other people, as soon as they become a teenager, they get their license. They start to drive. My mom was 62 before she got a license in her car, first car that she drove. It's all about decisions. You in a bad relationship, you with a man or a woman that don't support who you truly are, that won't allow you to breathe, that won't allow you to be all you can be. That is your decision and your choice to stay in that relationship. Whether you have kids or not, people, they always think, because there are kids involved, you have to stay in this relationship. And this is not me trying to break up no relationships, no marriages. I'm keeping it all the way real. Y'all know I keep it real on this podcast because this podcast is for everyday people living everyday life, doing everyday things. So I can't come no other way but real. I know I got married because I was pregnant. Because I wanted to give my son a double parent home. I wanted to give him what I didn't have. Because I was raised by a single mom. My dad was here and there. You know what I'm saying? So I decided that even though I wasn't in love like that, I'm like, well, I'll fall in love. Eventually with time. I'll fall in love. Even though I knew this guy showed me who he truly was, as Maya Angelou say, believe people the first time they show you. And I did. I called the wedding off 3 times. But when I found out I was pregnant, I decided to go through with the wedding. That was my decision. That was my choice. And while I was in it for that little bit of time, year and a half, within that time, if you listen to any of my other podcasts, we accumulated properties and all of that stuff. But I still had a decision and a choice to make Am I going to allow things, stuff, material to define who I am? To define how I want to be, how I want to feel? That was my decision or my choice. Was the big house and the cars and the properties and all of that stuff, was that making me happy? It wasn't making me happy. I was miserable. To everybody else on the outside, it was like, oh, this dream life, Oh, wow, we have these cookouts and all of this, and we got land. And everybody that came, because they at the time didn't have that, and I was so young with all of this, they felt like I was living a life. But I really wasn't. I was the most unhappy, if I could say it in that way. Y'all know sometimes I twist up my little grammar. Y'all know. But I almost lost myself in that relationship. In that little time. Almost lost myself. So I had to make the decision, what was more important? To give my son a double parent home so that he can just grow up with a mom and dad in the same house, even though I wasn't happy, or to go our separate ways so that I can be happy, so my son can be happy. Think about that. So many people put so much pressure on themselves because of the children. But I'm here to tell you that the children will get over it if it's going to make you happier that you can't be there. If you sit down and you give your children the respect that they deserve, and you have a for real talk with them and explain to them, listen, mommy and daddy is just not happy together. We will be better apart, but nevertheless, we both love you so much. This has nothing to do with you. Keep it real. When you keep it real with people and you don't allow... I got married because, not only because of my son, but because of the pressure of the wedding. Because I felt like, oh my gosh, I can't let these people down. They paid this money to get their stuff, to buy their stuff. We didn't pay money for the venue people, my mom, everybody. I didn't want to let everybody else down. That was my decision and my choice, and it almost ruined my future. It almost ruined my son's future. Because right here to date, my son's father has been in and out of jail since I left. We haven't seen him since my son was 2. But that's his decision, and I told my son, it's nothing about you. It's his decision. He's a grown man. That's what he wants with his life. You never take that personal. And I kept telling my son that time and time again, so that he knew in his spirit it's nothing to do with him. That people are individual. People are responsible for themselves. People make their own decisions and their own choices for their own life. We cannot control each other. We can't. I don't care what you do. You can try to buy somebody, but you try to buy somebody, man, you got to keep it up. That's the decision that you made going into the relationship. You buying them, you wooing them, but really you don't got it like that. You maxing out your credit cards trying to impress this person. That's a decision. That's a choice that you make, and now your credit all jacked up in the future. Now the relationship don't work out. She or he is gone, and now you meet somebody that's really for you, and now your credit jacked. Now you got, now they gotta deal with your baggage from something that you couldn't even make the decision and the choice for yourself to know that, okay, this person don't love me for me. They love me for what I could do for them. That's a decision. That's a choice, y'all. We got to get better with this because, if you want a bright future, keep working at it until you get it right. You don't get it right the first time. You might not get it right the second time, third time, whatever. But the bottom line is this. You always have a decision and a choice to make with your life, with your lifestyle. If you struggling with, you can say, ADionne, it's hard. I tried some drugs. I'm addicted. I can't shake it. Yes, you can. It's mind over matter. I've never been addicted to any drugs. I did try weed when I was young. I drank or whatever, but I felt like I was a person that I loved me more. Once you get to the point that you feel like I love me more than these material things. I love me more than this man, this woman that's abusing me, neglecting me or whatever, or don't appreciate me. I love me more than these family members that don't know how to celebrate me. They just tolerating me. This job that's just tolerating me, that's overworking me and underpaying me. I love me more. I love me more to really go and focus on my dreams and my visions. To go out there, even though I failed time and time again, to get back up and try it a new way. When you get to the point that you love yourself more, nothing else matters. You don't see nothing else but your goal, your vision. You got tunnel vision. You going after. You're not hearing what other people are saying in your ear. You're not hearing the judgment. You're not worrying about other people and what they saying behind your back and how they feel about your decisions and your choices. Because at the end of the day, you are individual. You have to live with your decisions and your choices. If you make a bad decision and it lands you in jail, you can't point the finger at nobody else unless you got caught up on a bad case and you really didn't do it, which I talked about. It happens a lot. Unfortunately, it does. But sometimes it can be just a matter of the places that you decide to go. I had a family member that, speaking on that when he was young, we was just in high school, and he's my uncle's stepson, and he just didn't get along with my uncle, whatever. Just was kind of, at that age where, he kind of wanted to buck back, how young men do or whatever. You ain't my father, that type of thing. But long story short, he was just a regular guy. He was not in the streets. He was, kind of, for real, to be honest, he kind of was like a nerd, But he made a decision and a choice that took 15 years of his life. He was going to work. He wound up going on a route that he ran and he saw a dead body. And I'm not going to get too far into the story, but the cops told him to come down. They wanted to talk to him. My uncle found out. He was at work. He said, listen, don't go nowhere until I get there. Well, he want to be grown. He on that, you ain't my dad, da-da-da. He on that attitude, He goes down there, and guess what? He never came home. He didn't kill the person. He didn't have a mean bone in his body. But come to find out, hate to say it, but from the way I heard the story play off, and yes, it's hearsay, but this is the way the story played off, is the person that was murdered was a cop's wife. And so I hate to say it, and if you're a cop, you listening to this, is nothing against you, but you work in the industry, so hey, some stuff be shady, And, so they just needed somebody to be that gopher. And he came in, right time, right place, and they beat him down until he said that he did it. Because he wasn't built like that. He was not a street person. So 15 years of his life. And he did 15 years because every time he went up for parole, he said he didn't do it. And if you know anything about the system, you got to say you do it unless they just go in, you get the best lawyers or whatever like that. But if you don't have the money like that, you got to say you do it before they release you, because they don't want to be liable for you suing them. So by the time he got to 15 years, he was tired. He was like, whatever, I did it. All right. And he came home. But that's 15 years of his life for nothing, because of a decision and a choice he made out of his ego, out of immaturity, out of, I don't know, hating his heart, whatever. Your decisions will create your future. I thank God that he's cool now. He's living his life. I think he got married, whatever, but he's doing good now for the last I checked, which is awesome. And he was able to spread the word of God while he was incarcerated. He was cool while he was in there. You know, he came out cool. He came out good. So, you know, sometimes you go in and you don't come out the same. But nevertheless, that was a short story, and it's a powerful story to show you that sometimes you can make a decision and a choice out of anger, out of guilt, out of shame, out of, you know, all the things that causes you that when you're not in your right mind. So I say to you, before you make decisions and choices in life, take a deep breath. Take a few deep breaths and really think about it. I'm not saying analyze it to the point that you can miss out on a good opportunity, but listen to your heart. Listen to your spirit. Your spirit is everything. And if you're not a person that believes in God or believes in, then listen to your intuition and listen to your gut, as they would say. Listen to your gut. Because your gut really is your spirit warning you, nudging you like, yo, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not good. You know, you had one too many drinks. Don't go home with her. Don't take him home. Don't go with him. You might not come back. I'm telling y'all, that's how I live my life. And only reason why I can say this is because it took me years to get to this place. You know, I would sometimes ignore, you know, my spirit nudging at me saying, no, don't do it. And I will find myself in some stupid situations that I didn't have to be in, or stupid relationships that I didn't have to be in. But see, I'm the type of person that I'm ghost. As soon as I see, I'm sorry, I'm outie, as they say in my hood. I'm outie 5,000 G. Okay, if I'm not feeling good about a situation, if I'm not feeling good about my environment, my atmosphere, or who I'm around, I am out. I do not stick around to try to analyze why I don't feel good. No, I'm out. I'm out of the relationship. I will give it some time. I definitely will give it some time to grow. But if I'm not feeling good about it, I'm not about to stay in and waste time out of my life. I'm sorry. You get one life. That's it. I'm not about to let somebody suck it up. I did that one time with one on and off relationship. I will not do it again. Not. You gotta be on point. Have your stuff together. Almost cursed, but I'm not saying you gotta be perfect or whatever, because I'm not. I mean, we all are made perfectly, but we gotta grow to that point of perfection that, you know, we're always going to be growing, y'all. We're always growing day by day. I don't care how old you are. You are never too old to learn something new, to gain new knowledge and new wisdom for yourself, for your being, for your family, for whatever. My grandpa, like I said, he passed away at 90 years old, and he always said that you're never too old to learn. He always still was watching the Discovery Channel and all of the History Channel. He always stayed in some books. Even though he was as old as he was, as wise as he was, he continued to learn and to grow into his last breath. And that's my idol. I'm not going to say idol because you're not supposed to have idols, but that is who I admire. I admire him so much because of that. And I teach my son and my daughter, you know, my goddaughter, and my stepson in that way. My other children that I just accumulated throughout my life, you know, I don't know. I just attract the motherless kids, and I'm really mean that, literally. These kids, you know, that didn't have a mom. I just, for some reason, I want to attract and becoming their mom, their mother figure, which is all good, because I would hope that somebody, you know, if I couldn't be around, somebody could have did that for my son. But I know my time is winding down. I know y'all know I get a little hype sometimes. I'm just passionate about the things that I'm sharing with y'all. I'm passionate about the topics that I choose to talk about because of the fact that I feel like I'm ever growing on these same topics. And I just like to share the things that I discovered throughout my growth. And observing other people, observing my life as well, and the outcomes and the results of them, of the decisions and the choices. So, I try to write my little bullet points, but sometimes I just go off, and I hope I touched on everything. I believe I did. When I look back, I'm like, okay, you good. You really touched on a whole lot of things, ADionne. But yeah, so as I said, just to summarize it, you have a choice and you have a decision to make. What is it going to be? Are you right now in your life, are you faced with a big decision? Is that decision to you making you sick to your stomach? If it's something that makes you sick to your stomach, and it's a decision that's like, okay, you trying to stay in that position, but it's making you sick to your stomach, then that is a choice that you need to make to relieve yourself of that. We were not meant to be here to be miserable, to be, just no. And I'm not saying we gonna be just happy all the like for real, you know what I mean? Every day of our lives. But what I'm saying to you is your choices and decisions will create your future. That's what I'm saying. And you can change it at any time. I don't care what position you are in. If you're in a position that you're locked down there, you might not be able to get out of jail. But what you can do is you can go up in that library. You can read up on the things that you always wanted to do with your life, and you can share that within where you are, So you're never backed up into a corner. It's your decision to feel that way. Wherever you are in your life, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful as to, you don't have no money, you struggling. I've been there, done that. Well, then you need to get some resources. You need to find out the resources. Trust me, I killed my pride when things were shady for me. I found out where the doggone pantries were and stuff like that to feed my child. I bit my pride. So there is always a way out of no way. There is. For many of us. And whatever position you are in, if you lost through the hurricane, then as I said before in, I think, one of my podcasts, I can't remember the title, but if you lost everything through the hurricane, maybe it's time for you to start a new life. I did. I didn't lose things through the hurricane, but I wound up giving everything up time and time again and starting all over. And to be honest with you, those were some of the best decisions that I made in those times. Just like now, I downsized tremendously. And I'm about to call Georgia and say, listen, you want the stuff that's up in that doggone storage? Because I'm tired of paying for it. It's been about 3 years. Y'all just took all my little money. I'm about to give it to the doggone salesperson, and I'm keeping it real. Look like brand new furniture, leather, nice stuff too, nice. I just want the doggone pictures. That's the only reason why I kept it. The pictures and the memories and the my son's awards and trophies, whatever. That's really all I'm paying for a storage just for memories. That's some deep stuff. That's a deep decision and choice, right? Could have more money in my pocket, but nevertheless, it's my decision to make, to give everything else away and just be done with it and go get stuff that really can fit in my car. So yeah, I'm going to go now, but I really want y'all to start thinking about your life, because you only get one, and I keep telling y'all that. And yes, people can change. I know this, but then sometimes people never change. It is you that have to make the decision and the choice and to feel in your spirit if you believe that it's worth whatever you're going through, wherever you are. Do you need a new job? You need a new occupation? You need a new career? You need to let go of that car you driving that's costing, taking all your paycheck? You need to downsize your house and move into an apartment? What do you need to let go? What decisions and choices that do you need to make your life better? To be burden free? Ask yourself that question. Start writing some things down. Start tallying up your bills and your finances and see what decisions and choices that you can make that can help you to make your life better. Where you can travel and you can go and join in with Leisure Life Travels and Lifestyle Savings. What decisions do you need to make with your health? Do you need to eat differently? You know what you need to do for your body. You know if you always getting sleepy after you eating all that fast food. You know that's a decision, that's a choice that you need to make. And you need to be consistent with the choice and the decision. You need to make up in your mind that you want to be a better you by any means possible, or any means necessary, I should say. You got the power. You have the power. You hold it in your hand. You just got to believe. You just got to gain your strength back. I don't know. You might need to take power back from who took it from you, whether it be people around you or whatever. But you hold the power. You hold the keys to your life. You hold the keys to a wonderful future. And when I say wonderful future, I don't mean that, you just got to be rich and that's what make you happy. No, I mean that just living the life you want to be. It could be something as simple as just having a cozy little place for you and your kid. And, it don't have to be extravagant. You know what you need for yourself to make you happy. You know. It might not cost a lot of money. The decision that I made didn't cost me a lot of money. Matter of fact, I'm saving more. So I'm going to go before this podcast cut me off because I only got 45 minutes and I need to play the outro. But I hope y'all enjoyed. And I just thank you all for supporting me with this podcast because I'm definitely your cheerleader. I'm your dream pusher. This is ADionne. This is the Chronicles of Living. Chronicles of living your life, your past, present, and future. And I just want everybody that listen to this podcast to just do better than you did yesterday. Write it down. What did you do better? How do you feel? You know what I mean? Is it better than yesterday? If it's not, then you need to, revamp or you need to retreat, But do something every day to make you better than yesterday. Do something to make your dream, your vision, your goals, to put you further into it. Just little steps, baby steps, y'all. Baby steps. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't look at it. Okay, I guess I'm about to go off. It's turning red. I will talk to y'all on Wednesday. This is ADionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chroniclesofliving.com. Until next time, this is ADionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.